All right, good morning, everyone. We call to order the October 28th meeting of the Madison County Board of Commissioners. My name is Chris Wallace, and everybody will please introduce themselves.
Tony Sidington.
Brendan Shea.
Rob Sling. Nick Atkins, Proston. Mel Slaney here.
Brian Booth.
On the meter, this is. I mean, you spoke.
Thank you. Everyone should have received a copy of last week's meeting minutes.
Motion to approve. Second.
Well, first and a second, any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Mr. J.
Yes.
Dr. Sneaker.
Yes.
Mr. Wallace.
Yes. Sharon, would you like to get us started, sir?
Good morning. Okay, then, yeah, as a business reward this morning, or deputies who have been and getting ready to distribute lots of candy to the kids throughout the county. And that's really one thing I had to report for you this morning. You gentlemen, having a meeting.
I believe so. You did.
I had one.
So the safe, is it safe grant? Is that the grant we were discussing? So you got registered. So are we handing that off to you guys now to EMA, or how you gonna do that?
We'll have to discuss it, see. I mean, obviously the one that that we would have to do that, you'll probably have to educate.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how I have permission now to actually do it. It's like, I'm sure it's just a click of the rolls of something but the grant's written for us. So it's basically copy and paste in, I think.
That's my understanding. It's pretty much.
Whichever used, I've already, I put that on the radar.
Okay.
Since it's, safety, we may, and
Yeah,
I can shoot.
I just didn't wanna get to the, 10-yard line and it was like, well, I thought you were doing that, and no, I thought you were doing
I can-
that, so.
It's due November 3rd. I think that's pretty quick turn. So,
Yeah, that,
and I'll have all y'all look at
If
it.
we're prepared, I'll get there. I'm prepared, either way, right?
I just didn't wanna miss it because thought they were doing somebody else was
Yeah.
doing.
We'll just have to guide the other one to educate them. Go where it needs to be.
And then,
She's pretty quick, she's pretty sharp, I'd be very.
wanted to take a second
But
to bring the board up to speed on the property from DRC. Sheriff and I had a teams meeting with, DRC, DAS, and a couple other state organizations, and, getting all the ducks in a row. The only thing I think that we now have some clarity on is the price of the property, which, they basically said that they did an internal appraisal just to make sure that they could or couldn't sell it through the controlling authority. So that's how they ended up with their $110,000 or whatever it was. But that they had no intention of selling it at that point. And that's why they asked for our appraisal, to have an appraisal done. So that's what we did. That appraisal came in at like 3 times that much in the initial phases. I talked to our appraisal company, got it down to, 20,000 an acre based on a few different things. It's not necessarily commercial, so forth, so on. They seem to be okay with that. But at the end of the day, they basically said, hey, this is a very unique situation that we're selling property to anybody.
yeah, they were pretty up forward that they're not in the business of selling property.
And they're kind of going out of their way to sell this to us. So maybe we should not be so critical of that 20,000 an acre. John, would you?
That's how I took it. Well, I think you muted my mic, I couldn't speak. You're on Teams, I couldn't speak for some reason, but, yeah, I agree.
So that's kind of where we're at on that property and moving forward. Are you guys comfortable with that price? I mean, do we need to? There's, it's tied to another bill based on technical language, which I think they're hammering that out now.
Yeah, that threw up some issues with them. They tied it into another bill.
And how we want to move forward with,
Did you talk to Stuart? I know you're gonna get some FaceTime with him.
I have a meeting with him this week, but it's on behalf of West Jeff, West Jeff, so we'll get some FaceTime with him. I can bring it up if you like, or not.
Yeah, I'd just like you to have that discussion with him, and maybe he'll say, well, if they're telling you that this is a kind of a one-off, that we're not really in the business of doing this, and then this is the price, then we'll move forward, in my estimation. But if he says maybe he can help,
And his aide did say that he's willing to come into a board meeting if we wanted him to, because I did reach out to them to say, hey, is it a possibility to schedule some time here in the future to discuss this topic, so.
I think, once again, I mean, I think phone calls are fine. I mean, Brian's very responsive and answers his phone, so. Yeah, I mean, we just need to have him have that conversation. I mean, you know, I think you can relay what happened at your meeting, and he can tell us, well, if that's what they're telling you, there's not much I can do, or if we can say, well, let me talk to him and I can help out. I think that conversation with him needs to occur first before we make a final decision. But maybe, like I said, maybe his response could be, I can't help.
Okay. Yeah, it's November 5th.
I should keep my mouth shut.
That's
What
His
do you have
office.
to say? What is there to possibly say?
All for law enforcement, but you know, they want to make money on the county for law enforcement. This is a purpose for law enforcement. Costs them nothing to have that in.
They did cite that they do have revenue coming off of that property under a farm lease.
Oh, yeah. 10 acres at, you know, what, average is 250.
I mean, it would probably take them about 30 years
Yeah.
to make off of the ground what they want to show. I understand. You know, I was hoping I could speak in the meeting, to let them know that, you know, this is an extension, that's how we approach it. This is an extension of the security for that facility as well, to have your local law enforcement on your own footprint. And, you know, the building that serves our people, from a building that serves our people. Yeah.
Which is why they are even considering selling the property. If it was anybody else, they would get a flat no.
They
They
should.
they were pretty upfront about
Yeah, so we had a meeting with Representative Stewart. It's Wednesday, November 5th. 1 p.m. in his office.
And I'll probably just call him today.
Yeah, I just don't want to make sure I have clear guidance moving forward on how you guys want to approach this.
Sounds like nothing yet. We gotta have those conversations with Brian.
Yeah, I'll call him today. I'll just get ahead of it and call him today.
Okay, then I can follow up with him next week.
Yeah, I think a phone call, he'll be pretty, I think we'll be candid with us and tell us if we can help or if we can't.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Atkins? Morning.
I do not have any business.
Very good. Moving right.
I've been quiet the last month.
It's not a bad thing. Brian,
No business, but I'll give you some updates.
you'll be great.
Do have something I want to ask you about. So our utility, fiber optic work continues to be ongoing. You know, we've got anywhere from 6 to 8 contractors working. One thing that came up, last couple of days is Mid-Ohio's extension of water into Lafayette. And, working the right way and that sort of thing. Wanted to get some feedback from your board on how we handle the permitting and fee structure with Mid-Ohio. Whether we wanted to follow the same policy that any other utility would need to follow, or if there was, you know, another arrangement we want to try to down with Mid-Ohio as far as that goes.
What would the permitting be for any other utility? I mean, how? what's the fee structure? There's a fee structure of it.
Yeah, I mean, we charge a fee for plan review. We require a bond. And during construction. We inspect during construction just to make sure that, you know, any county or township owned facilities are made whole and taken care of. We had some issues in some of
It might be the same contractor,
It is the same contractor. We had some drainage problems and some of them.
there's still problems with them.
That are coming to light that, you know, we were not on site to inspect. Making sure the roads are repaired like they should be, backfilled like they should be, just looking out for, you know, the county and township. So,
I don't think there's anything wrong with that personally.
I mean, they have an inspector that's inspecting the installation of the water line.
As they do.
But that inspector is not looking at for
Right.
the county and township facilities that they're working. So,
I'm sure they'll do the job right, but
and they're not necessarily doing it wrong, that's just not what they're there for, you know, those inspectors. So that's kind of where my head was, I wanted to make you aware and give you an opportunity to.
I mean, if the guy that's doing the job does something wrong, I mean, they should be liable for fixing it, right? If they come up to my house to put a water line in and they dig up my electric, and then, you know what? Gotta do
We
it right.
do have a really drainage system in Lafayette, similar to some before, that's, you know, it's been problematic in the past.
Sure.
It's, you know, how well it works, so we need to keep our eye.
Yeah, you gotta protect the residents, and I think that's what you're doing by doing what you're doing.
I agree, but I think there's a role for you to play there. And you should.
Fair enough. Outside of that, lots of projects we're still trying to get wrapped up this year. The milling and intermediate course is done on Big Plain Circle Road, from 56 over the county line. Contractor will be back, next season to put the surface course on that. We're kind of out of weather, at this year. As we've still got the two bridges closed, and I want to make sure those bridges are tied in really well with the new pavement. They'll be back, contractor had to move off for about a week, they'll be back to put the intermediate course down on the other roads. And taking projects like yet this year. Bridge over Deer Creek on Big Plain Circleville, we're looking at a mid-December opening now. And then the smaller bridge will have it by the end of next month, so. And then just putting final touches on our budget for next year. What goes along with that for us is getting projects planned out. So we always have a lot of balls in the air. A lot of things we're trying to get sorted out this time of year, but should have that in your hands for next week's meeting. Working with the townships on their paving programs for next year and looking at some joint projects with them as well. And then just also want to let you know, I'm staying engaged, you know, Byron has been in those meetings, with Darby Township and Plain City, Union County, and Dublin, and Jerome Township up in that part of the county. The big thing being, you know, what's the road network going to look like up there? How are we going to make that work with all the jurisdictions in the picture and that sort of thing? Just wanted to let you know I'm staying engaged in that, and that's been a big topic of conversation. But with that group in those meetings, so I'm not gonna, as you know.
I'm not laughing at this, yes. Very good. Thank you, sir.
So thanks.
Appreciate it. Coffee, gentlemen.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you that. Chapter 3, regional water and sewer districts are regulated by subdivisions, not public utilities, to have no authority to enforce local regulations. How about my truck, 4-year-old, I supposed to traditional public doing. And there's a,
But in three, four sides, okay.
round.
Right.
It talks.
There's times they told me to move.
There's some strings.
That's what I mean.
Let's say.
I couldn't hardly walk this time. I couldn't help it. Asked Amy, I was said, Amy, if I call you, that's get me off the ground.
I went to the chiropractor for almost 2 months before it went away.
What's
better?
She says.
I woke up Thursday, I mean, I was literally walking my steps were about this big for 2 days.
Political
Yep,
subdivisions.
yep.
So I had to take my bike to work yesterday.
Go to chiropractor.
Forcing county zoning against state.
I mean, it helped me.
On Thursday, Paris gave me muscle relaxation.
In front of the application for a permit, I need to be in review.
This is the worst I ever had. I mean, I literally could.
I see it for me,
But county zoning would be.
Well, some straight over.
Same thing, can't do anything. I know. One side, for sure.
It was right in the middle, both sides, but I didn't have one side, except just my right side.
So I had that.
Yeah,
I don't know what
size
triggered
it
it.
is you got.
For me, I
Mine, I fell asleep on the couch.
Political subdivision.
The first time I had it, I've been able to pick up an axe when I was like 30 something years old, I just kept on going.
That costs money to
And then I had
another.
another time where
That's
that's
not
not
an issue. So it's all public money, but it's still.
Right, no, I agree.
so.
Well,
I think that's in the bear's cost.
4 times